Today, you don't need to be gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, queer to support LGBTQIA rights. You can just be a human. For my mother, she thought that I identify myself as a hijra. What is the difference between sex? What is the difference between sex, gender, and sexuality? And over the years, I think she slowly started accepting it. And I always put condoms on my kurtas, on my attire when I walk down prides, promoting safe sex practices. Till date, I have covered 64 pride parades across the nation. Hi, my name is Venkatesh and I identify myself as a non-binary individual. My preferred pronouns are they and them. अगर मेरी roots की बात करें, so my origin is basically from the city of destiny, Visakhapatnam, and I was born and raised in the city of joy, Calcutta, to a very middle-class family. Parents are bankers, now they are retired, and I was born on a very beautiful day of June 28th, which is considered to be as the Pride Day globally. And from there, my childhood, when I started growing up, I always knew that there was something different in me. And but तब के दिन में आज से 20 साल पहले या 15 साल पहले there was no such platform where I could understand or explore myself. So things took time, समय लगा, उसके साथ आगे बढ़ते गए. जब मैं 15-16 साल के था तब मुझे लगा कि my attraction is towards same-sex individuals. अगर हम same-sex individuals के बारे में बात करें तो मेरा क्रश था मेरे एक स्कूल का सीनियर. बट तभी ये बहुत चीज़ अलग थी क्योंकि समझ में नहीं आता था कि मेरे दोस्त जो थे they used to get attracted towards the opposite gender which is female and I'm a biologically born male. So in that aspect it was always a feeling which I used to suppress myself and could never discuss with my friends and family. Over the time, then my exploring phase continued and I started exploring through some social media platforms where I got through some like-minded people. I remember a couple of chat rooms where we used to ask people, connect with same like-minded people. And then I realized it was not only me. There were hundreds and thousands of people who are having the same mindset, who feels different, but we are not at all different. There are so many people. So from there, I think my journey actually began, my main journey, I would rather say, of exploring my sexuality, my gender, and realizing who I am. So at the age of 18 or early 19s, I was sure that I identify myself as a gay man and I'm attracted towards male only. So I took some time and then I came out to my mother because I felt she to be my safe space. But over the time I realized that coming out is not an easy journey. It takes really a lot of struggles, lot of hurdles, a lot of courage to do that. But शायद मेरी मम्मी को मुझे लगा कि she would be a safe space, so I came out to her. But I didn't come out to my sister, neither to my father, nor any of my extended family, nor friends. So when I came out, I was mid-19 age back then. It was I think 12 years ago. Things were not easy, but I think she understood me. She accepted me slowly. It took her time, and I always had back in the mind that when I took my 5 years, 6 years of my years a journey to accept myself, so I should give them time to accept as well, because it's not an easy journey. अगर मेरे लिए भी एक journey रहा है, उनके लिए इससे भी ज़्यादा journey है, because our society is a very cis-heteronormative society where we have always seen that a male getting married to a female, opposite gender, and things have been very cis-heteronormative. And whereas our parents belong to a generation which is one generation earlier. तो वहाँ से मैंने जब उनको बोला था तो चीज़ें तो उतना easy नहीं थी, but she slowly started understanding me, I would rather say, and it took almost 3 to 4 long years for her to accept me as who I am. So in the meanwhile, I was 22, 4 years ago, I started going through some events back in Calcutta. Some organizations, NGOs used to host some pride events, some LGBTQIA plus events. मैं जाता गया, मिलता गया लोगों से, मेरी exposure बढ़ती गई, and 22 साल की उम्र में I realized that I love wearing jewelry, I love wearing nail paints. So मैंने जब खुद neck piece पहनना चालू किया, earrings पहनना चालू किया. So for my mother, she thought that I identify myself as a hijra. But here again, one thing, pausing here and telling that a person who identifies as hijra or trans or non-binary are really different. So I'm not a hijra, but I love wearing jewelry. I love wearing neck pieces. I love wearing nail paints. That doesn't makes me an hijra. So it took some time. So for her, 4 years of acceptance जो धीरे धीरे हुआ था, वो थोड़ा टाइम लगा उनके लिए समझने में. So I had to also step back, take some time, make her understand slowly and steadily what is the difference between sex, what is the difference between sex, gender, and sexuality. And over the years, I think she slowly started accepting it. My journey of activism began in the meanwhile, where I felt that at least when I got the safe space, my mother has provided me that space. So आज शायद बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं, बहुत सारे कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं जिसको ये प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं मिला है. सो ओवर द टाइम आई स्टार्टेड advocating for them, speaking, standing for them, because I felt मेरे में इतनी courage है, मेरा शायद ये support है, my mother being my strongest pillar, I think I could have been a voice, I can be a voice to many others. So I think it was really beautiful. I think I started my journey over the years, met a lot of people, started going to events from the community events, and I think वो journey चलता गया. And then over the years, I think it was 2017 when I decided that I would be walking India's all the prides which are happening that particular year. So I remember 2017 में मेरे जनवरी में मेरी पहली प्राइड का सफ़र चालू किया था जो बॉम्बे से चालू हुआ था. And that particular year I covered 17 long prides across the nation. एंड ये जर्नी 2017 में सफ़र ख़त्म नहीं हुई, ये कंटिन्यू हुआ 2017, 18, 19. एंड आई हैव बीन टू टिल डेट आई थिंक, एंड ओवर द years then COVID stuck, so I couldn't go through. But yes, till date I have covered 64 pride parades across the nation, not restricting myself to the metropolitan cities, but to the two-tier cities, to the different districts in the state of West Bengal, across in Maharashtra, and a lot of other places where I've covered through my journey. And the reason of traveling across prides, because I felt that I should meet a lot of people, understand them, what is the different struggles people go through in different states. शायद मैं कलकत्ता से हूँ जहाँ पे it's known as a cultural capital, so people has a huge respect to culture. But when you come to the other cities, other states, struggles might be less or more. So the reason of me covering all the prides was to understand how things are across and give a space to myself to grow personally and professionally, understanding things and creating a safe space for my fellow folks. So, and I started working with the Human Rights Law Network, where I expanded my horizon, not only restricting to the LGBTQIA plus rights, but I have worked in the tea gardens of North Bengal for the healthcare facilities of tea garden workers in the Sundarbans. I have worked with the tiger widows for their basic human rights, and over the time my exposure to different other human rights issues has expanded with my association with this organization of Human Rights Law Network. And I think it was lovely that I feel blessed that I'm surrounded with a lot of beautiful people in my life who has really been a backbone and stood by me. I have been a person who always prefer talking about stereotypes. हमारे देश में अभी भी बहुत सारे टैबू है, बहुत सारे चीज़ों को लेकर टैबू है. अगर आप गे हो, आप लेस्बियन हो, बाइसेक्सुअल हो, ट्रांस हो, क्वियर हो, इंटरसेक्स हो, बहुत सारे टैबू है. अगर not only it's again restricting to LGBTQIA rights, again there have been lot of body shaming happening, lot of there's lack of discussion on menstrual hygiene and many other issues which are really important to be addressed. But again, at the same time, it is not. We don't talk about safe sex practices. It's really important to talk about safe sex practices because हमारे देश में अभी भी एक है कि taboo वो sex के बारे में, the word sex is a taboo. So talking about safe sex practices is again a big a long time to go, I think. But I have always been very vocal discussing about these issues. जब मैं प्राइड में जाता था, I think मेरे प्राइड्स में बहुत सारे बैचेस मुझे मिला as a which I always consider to be as my souvenir, where I've got through different prides, and I always put condoms on my kurtas, on my attire when I walk down prides, promoting safe sex practices, asking people and requesting that safe sex practice is really important. It's important to talk about it, understand, because there have been a lot of taboos about it. And with the journey, I think I have started over doing a campaign called the Free Hugs campaign, which I have been doing for last couple of years, and increasingly in recent times in the city of Delhi, I have started doing this more since I shifted here. And the reason of this Free Hugs campaign is because there has been a lot of uh, mental health issues increasing day by day. A lot of people feel that they are not heard about it, and I think a hug can be very compassionate. Again, it has to be consensual and given a space to for people to reach out, to talk, and just I think hug can really. It might be not of words, but again, just a touch where people might can feel safe. And I think that's the reason I've started doing this campaign since last couple of years. But in Delhi, it's been more. Every weekend, I try to do post my working hours. I try to do over and across the city of Delhi, and it's a way of reaching out to people. Not only providing them a safe space, again at the same time, me as part of the community to make them understand, make them realize that we are no different from others. It's all we stand today as one can be gay, one can be lesbian, one can be bisexual, trans, queer, intersex, but at the end of the day, we all are humans and we deserve basic human rights. अगर आज के दिन में आप खड़े होकर देखोगे बहुत सारे नालसा जजमेंट 2014 में पास किया गया था जहाँ पे ट्रांसजेंडर्स को थर्ड जेंडर का रिकॉग्निशन दिया गया था. Again, the word third gender is sort of it's a matter of debate. अगर थर्ड जेंडर ट्रांस को बोला जाए तो फर्स्ट जेंडर कौन है, सेकंड जेंडर कौन है. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है हमें समझना कि ये वर्ड ट्रांसजेंडर को थर्ड जेंडर बोला जाए. बट अगेन स्टिल अगेन कीपिंग असाइड दैट दिस वर्डिक्ट ऑफ 2014, it's been 9 long years. This is 2023, but till date, it's very unfortunate to see we don't see gender neutral restrooms. We don't see for trans people, their basic identity has been recognized in many places. Recently, I have been to one of the very sacred pilgrimage in South India, and I was very disappointed, angry seeing that the tickets bound to book for darshan for the pilgrims are restricted to just to male and female. And this is not only one instance. Till date, in many places we see there are no gender neutral restrooms at workplaces, schools, education institutions, colleges, where we are seeing the restrooms to be catered only to men and women. So a person who doesn't identify themselves as one from the two binaries. So where do such people go? It's a lack of sensitization, a lack of inclusivity. But again, it's very unfortunate to see at the same time, many organizations come up during the Pride Month, celebrating the Pride, putting rainbow flags across their workplaces, across education institutions. But when it really comes to implementation or acceptance, it's still a long way to go. And I think we all as citizens of India, and especially we as youth, it's a time for us to raise our voice, always stand up for our basic human rights. And it's not only for me or it's not only for you, but it can be for as a community as a whole, as a society as a whole. We need to stand up, we need to talk up, and we need to make sure that everyone around us are felt safe, feel safe, included, and they don't face the discrimination across in different spaces. Today, you don't need to be gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, queer to support LGBTQIA rights. You can just be a human, and at the basic end of the day, we all are humans and we deserve basic rights. Today, I have been working with organizations and I have blessed, at least I think I'm very surrounded by a lot of positive people, where my previous organization, my present organization, Nav Gurukul, where I'm working, I'm surrounded by people where my colleagues, my team members have been very sensitive about certain things, about how they address me, how they try to be inclusive. See, I don't expect everyone to be sensitized from the very day one. but again, change happen with time. But you have today, once you want to bring the change, you need to be the change. And where I see a lot of people saying that trans people are begging in the signals, उनको तो काम नहीं है, वो भीख मांग रहे हैं ऐसे. तो अगर वो भीख मांग रहे हैं तो आप अपने घर पे काम दीजिए पहले. इफ यू वांट टू गिव वर्क, यू गिव सम वर्क, देन यू कैन टेल देम दैट ओके दे शुडंट बेग. We don't want to give them work, but at the same time we don't want them to beg on the signals also. It's not easy standing in the signal, going from one vehicle to another, asking for money. I think अगर उस जगह पे होता, कभी नहीं कर पाता. इसके लिए बहुत स्ट्रगल, बहुत सारे पेन उनको सफर करना पड़ते हैं, धूप में बारिश में खड़े होके उनके पेट के लिए. इट्स ऑल अबाउट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे फॉर योर बेसिक नेसेसिटी ऑफ गेट फूड, लिविंग, रहने के लिए जगह के लिए ये लोग कर रहे हैं आज. बट अगर आपको चेंज बनना है तो यू बी द चेंज. इफ यू हैव अ स्पेस, व्हाई डोंट यू गिव देम वर्क? Give them work as a, if you want to give them work as a maid servant or any other thing, whatever thing you want, you have to be the change first. Then you can say that, okay, इनको भीख नहीं मांगना चाहिए. चीज़ें हम बहुत चीज़ बोल देते हैं, बट जब इम्प्लीमेंटेशन आती है या खुद से एक्सेप्ट करना होता है, हम नहीं करते. आपका बेटा गे है तो ठीक है, बट मेरा बेटा तो गे नहीं होना चाहिए. ये चीज़ें हमेशा रही है. तो ये चीज़ें को हमें बदलना है. एंड आई थिंक इट्स टाइम वेयर we as a society, we as youths can do it. We have to raise our voices. It's a beautiful platform where people, and today's day 2023, there are so many platforms where people come across. बहुत सारे मीडिया है, बहुत सारे सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स, ग्रुप्स हैं जहाँ पे लोग बात कर रहे हैं. शायद आज से 15 साल पहले मुझे भी अगर वो जगह मिला होता तो आज मेरी भी जर्नी कुछ अलग ही रही होती. बट इट वॉज नॉट ईजी फॉर श्योर, आई थिंक. एंड आई हैव ऑलवेज बिलीव्ड इन ग्रास रूट एक्टिविज्म, जहाँ पे सिर्फ मोबाइल, लैपटॉप या मोबाइल के सामने बैठ के चैट करके एक्टिविज्म करना नहीं होता है. यू हैव टू बी एट द ग्रास रूट टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड टू ब्रिंग द चेंज. टुडे अगर आपको किसी स्ट्रगल को समझना है तो आपको अपना पैर उसमें ढकेलना है. अगर आज मैं नहीं समझता, इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड द पेन ऑफ व्हाट द पर्सन इज गोइंग थ्रू, आई एज अ सिटीजन कांट चेंज एनीथिंग. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, बीइंग देयर, putting your feet in their shoes and understanding how it has been. So I think over the time, let's create a safe space. And I think that's the only thing what we can do as citizens, as humans, is just be empathetic towards your fellow queer individuals, and let's create a platform. There are certain platforms where you can reach out to, groups you can reach out to if you need any assistance. And if we all can do as together, I think a world would be a very better place. And at least in India, where we have seen a lot of legal rights still now not being implemented, saying the marriage rights, adoption rights. But yes, we have to understand that where things have not been easy. अगर इतने सालों में जाकर 377 धारा डिक्रिमिनलाइज हुआ है, इसको भी हमें थोड़ा टाइम देना चाहिए. आज ही नहीं हुआ, कल नहीं होगा, शायद आज से 5 साल में होगा. उसी उम्मीद के साथ, उसी होप के साथ, आई थिंक वी ऑल हैव टू कीप ऑन मूविंग अहेड इन आवर लाइव्स. एंड आई एम श्योर if we can do it, it will really help us in growing personally as a human and professionally in our spaces.